NERDSoul.
Oh yeah, late ill kid at OneYoungsta holding it down, bringing in StreetGeek and NERDSoul. Like, comment, subscribe, hit the bell. Let's go, cause we got some Soultaku, y'all. We chilling, having a good time, kicking it, and we leading off. Man, look, I think it will only be right to lead off with Invincible this week, y'all. I look, man, look. Shout, hey, this is no diss to the other shows we gonna talk about and get into, but we starting off with Invincible, boy. Look, last week I was like, I don't like the way we came back from the break. I remember talking about that, saying like, the episode wasn't bad, but I feel like they didn't bring the juice like they could have brought the juice. You know what I'm saying? But this episode, boy, ooh, man. All right, so Mark got problems, bro. I There's so much in this episode that is so well done in a way where I am extremely happy that we have this show in the way we have it. And this is coming from someone I never read the comic, so I don't know anything about the comic book version. But pacing wise, this show is crazy, man. And we get like an hour of it, man. Look, that's another thing, man. Like, I'm gonna talk about another show, some other shows later, but we get an hour with this. And straight jumping in, Anissa and her arrival changes the game. Because, all right, so Mark is chilling, trying to get his school back. He talking to his girl. He like, look, let me hit her with that Jesse Powell. You know what I'm saying? Baby, it's you. They going on dates. He like, look, I need 2 days off. I'm gonna be with my baby. You know what I'm saying? Holding hands, flying around, eating food and stuff, kicking it, looking in her eyes all lovingly. You know, you be looking in your girl eye like, yeah, girl, you know you my woman. That's right, I'm your man. And they just living and loving, having a good old time. You know what I'm saying? He's like, look, I'm going to make a concerted effort and choose to be with my woman. You know what I'm saying? Because I just can't put my relationship on autopilot. That's right. You know what I'm saying? If you under the sound of my voice, don't put your relationship on autopilot. Do what you got to do. Make sure, you know what I'm saying? Make sure that person knows, hey, look, I got you. All right? And that's what he's trying to do. And we watching the show. I'm like, word. You know what I'm saying? We kicking it. I'm having a good time too. I'm like, we all on a date. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, look, we kicking it. Next thing you know, and this is like, look, get up or I'm a killer. Yo, bruh. I was like, hold up, what? Man, look, I almost spit out my drink. I'm sitting at the table. We all sitting at the table having a good time. I'm third wheeling on this date, and all of a sudden, someone almost about to die. She said, I will kill everyone here. You know what I'm saying? Look, I was scared for your girl. I was scared. Because this show, honestly, it's like there's people that are safe, and then also no one's safe. Because don't mean like you might not die, but that don't mean you won't go through no strife, boy. Because the way they be doing folks on this show. Look, you saw what happened to Rick. We gonna talk about Rick in a second, but look, Anissa hits on a couple of points where she's not particularly wrong. The only thing is she forgets that all of these people that they colonize or take over or absorb into the empire, whatever it is, they completely lose all of their ability to govern themselves. You know what I'm saying? Like, yeah, now, I mean, I guess you can say that's a trade-off. She like, look, if we gonna come in here and save your atmosphere and do this, you know what I'm saying? Yeah, we gonna govern y'all because we fixing everything and y'all don't know how to act. And she's kind of got a point. Humans don't know how to act. And with all these heroes here, if y'all are supposed to be about all this justice, then why is corruption still rampant the way it is? Why are people still killing people the way they are? Why are y'all the only protection y'all doing is from, these, gargantuan threats and these kaiju and these space invasions. But what about the daily, everyday person that's getting, hurt by corruption, from the government or from corporations and stuff. Y'all ain't doing nothing for them. So what are you? You know what I'm saying? I mean, you could look at her and say, hey, she isn't particularly wrong because y'all supposed to be the best superhero team in the world, and y'all letting all kinds of corruption going under y'all nose. You know what I'm saying? It's like the Jedi was supposed to be all awesome, but slavery was still thriving while they were supposed to be, quote, protecting the galaxy. So she went wrong in that. She went wrong. I had to give her points on that. And when she came through talking about, like, look at how easy, I saved these people. Like you was getting mollywopped around out this joint. And I was like, yo, Mark, come on, man. Yo, look, man, you making us look bad. You know what I'm saying? The Viltrumites came showing what you got. And man, Mark was getting whooped up out there, man. That kaiju had him going for us. She just flew straight through the kaiju and then immediately cleaned herself with like a air blast or something. Man, look, Mark, come on, man. You can't make us look bad when visitors come. All right, visitors come over. We got company, and you got to show up, man. Come on, man. You making us look bad. So anyway, skip all that. Then when they fight, look, Mark, I'm gonna need you to bring out that killer instinct. Your daddy told you, Viltrumites ain't playing. You out here trying to pit pat with them, throwing these little rabbit punches and stuff. Boy, you better go in. Look, you need to follow that center line and make sure. Look, this. You know what? This is what I said was wrong with Mark in the first place. I said Mark should have been studying his fighting forms and his skills between season 1 and season 2 because he got whooped up in season 1. So he should have been like, all right, look, maybe I might not be as strong as other Viltrumites, but if I have the technique that they do not have, then I can still win. For instance, if someone's stronger than you, they may be able to overpower you, but if you have a specific technique, whether it's like wrestling or boxing or kung fu, Muay Thai, whatever it may be, you may still be able to pull out a win because their strength alone may not work in, depending on what situation they're in. You know what I'm saying? Like, for instance, maybe they may be stronger than you and they're very good at wrestling, but they have to get you to the ground. But they can't get you to the ground because you're such a good, you're so good at, say, boxing or something like that, that you keeping them off of you and you tagging them ribs, you tagging their head. And they can't get you to the ground, or vice versa. Maybe they're a very good boxer, but they made a mistake and they slipped. And now y'all are on the ground where you're you know what I'm saying? So it's like, look, I'm telling you, Mark should have been in the gym, baby. Should have been in the gym. All right, downloading them skills, working on his forms. Also, working with weapons too. Like, man, look, Mark, you're letting us down. We got company coming over and you got us looking bad. But she whooped him. Whew, she ragdolled your boy, man. It had me. The way she hit him a couple times, I was like, Jesus. Whew. Look, he about to go to the upper room. But, with that said, I will give Mark he stuck to his convictions. He was like, look, I ain't saying yes. I ain't gonna give up. Look, you got to give him his props on that one. Look, he stood on business. Even when someone was standing on his neck, he still stood on business. All right, so look, Mark, I'll give you that. You could have stepped your game up, but you still dope. You know what I'm saying? You still dope in my book, but we just gonna need to get you in the gym. We gotta get you up. Cause see, you think just cause you strong, you ain't gotta do no work. You still gotta do the work. You gotta get into the gym, baby. But let's slide that to the side for a second. The atmosphere around school, love, relationships like with your mother, your brother, even with other heroes, is something that I think they take great care in this show, and it is exhibited in great scenes like Mark and his mother talking about when um Nolan was with her early on and they were dating, like when he brought her a tree because he was like, hey, people give flowers, so I'll give her a tree. That's even better. You know what I'm saying? So like things of that nature. Or when she was talking about how, like, yes, it was beautiful and it was whimsical, but then I was also alone for like weeks or months at a time. Or his relationship with Rex, where Eve calls him and she's like, yo, Rex went off on his own. I can't do it right now, but we need you. And knowing the relationship that he had with Rex early on as opposed to now is incredible. The list that they've come, you know what I'm saying? So being able to see that he's not only talking to Rex, but having sort of heart to hearts in the last episode and this one, it's nice, man. And getting that, I don't know, camaraderie that we didn't have, and sort of this loose connection of maybe they're not on the same team, maybe they're not best friends, but they relate to one another and they rely on one another. And even like when Mark came to help Rex, he was like, I need this. You know what I'm saying? So him kind of allowing Rex to get back on the horse and see if this was for him. Now, it was close, man. Rex, he another one that need to step his game up a little bit. Or he also need to know when he might be a little bit out of his depth. But I do like that he, you know what I'm saying? Hey, he got on that horse. He rode that horse. Shouts out to this episode being very meta, talking about animation in general and how animation is done and like little tips and tricks, how to like take care of limited animation and still have, I guess you could say, cinematic type shots without blowing the budget, so you could spend time on cool fight scenes later. I do like that, and I also like, even though it's I don't know, it's disheartening, but I do like how they're displaying what is it, Monster Girl's journey right now. You know what I'm saying? I mean, she's like, I can't be fixed. It's a curse. And the idea of that, she's just stuck with this. This is just where I'm gonna be. And maybe that's true. Maybe there's no way to fix that part of her transformation. And that maybe that's just what we have to live with, instead of trying to fix it, just realizing we have to like maneuver around it. I wanna know what you think about Immortal. Do you think Immortal just like he gotta go, like, or is he gonna be back? Because I can see where he's coming from with that whole part of him being broken and just being like, yo man, I loved Kate and I can't do it no more. So I see where he's coming from, man. I can understand being like, yo man, my heart ain't in it. I gotta go. Cause if my heart ain't in it, you know what I'm saying? Like, I'm gonna be more of a danger than I am a help. Like, he was giving the examples of, flying out in space and almost, starting an intergalactic issue, or, not trusting Mark when he should have. Those kind of things do come to mind, and they do affect, his, well, not only his life, but the team's life. So I thought that was something that was nice to add in, and layering that on top of like Donald's experiences through his 39 lives and Rick's experience with William, and him not wanting to remember, and then being like faced with Donald and how he felt and what Donald was going through. It brings a heart to the show that I think is kind of maybe sometimes missed by some folks, but this show got some heart, man, for real. This show got some heart. Shouts to Dean Winslow. You know what I'm saying? Homie was like, look, yo, I'm stepping up. He went from principal to the dean, boy. He got an upgrade. I guess last thing I'll shout out is the conversation between Black Samson and Bulletproof, which was very telling about where Bulletproof is. Because Bulletproof's like, yo, I'm new to the team. And he's like calling out all these things that are messed up. But notice he said, look, Cecil will sacrifice all of us to save white America. Like, he's like, look, it's not lost on me that we are black superheroes in this white supremacy laden, country. It's like, I'm not going to pretend like there isn't a difference between what we are, what they are, and even our outlooks on the socioeconomic issues that plague people that look like me as opposed to people that look like you, in terms of like Cecil. So that was cool to add in to get. I think we shared the ball very well throughout the show. Everybody got a chance to get a little moment to see where they are, where emotionally, where they are mentally, and even physically. Like, are they getting stronger? Are they getting weaker? Are they busy? Things like that. Even like with Debbie accepting a date from her coworker, which I don't know if that's a good idea because coworkers, it's weird. Workplace romances, in many cases, end up in marriage and everybody's happy. But I don't know, man, if it goes south. But hey, like the lady on Coming to America, take a chance. You know what I'm saying? Take a chance. You never know. Take a chance. Could be awesome. The guy said, "I like you. I hope you like me too." So you know what? Take a chance. But guys, look, holler at me down in the comments. Let's talk some Invincible, man. I'm really digging this show. It's awesome. Like, straight up, this show is incredible. So, I wanna talk a little bit about your girl, Omega. Omega, she out there trying to live her life. And she want to know what that end count is, man. She want to know what's up with that end count. What, what does the M stand for? We ain't gonna talk about that. But we haven't talked about Bad Batch in a while. And Bad Batch, of course, military sci-fi, Star Wars, of course. For me, it's been delivering every episode, whether it's when Crosshair comes back and they have their uneasy meeting with Hunter, whether they're fighting against big snow, monsters and running overground and underground and trying to get the information safely, to also dealing with Fennec Shand again and trying to capture bounties so that they can figure out what an M count is. But recently, seeing Ventress in the way that she looks in the Dark Disciple book is very cool. And seeing her outlook and her position now, especially since she had left Count Dooku, and seeing her life as she has sort of transitioned to being someone who is, I guess you could say, just on her own. Like she said, I choose my side. And her testing Omega, but then knowing that Omega is not going to leave these troopers, and maybe it's best to let sleeping dogs lie, kind of thing. I wonder if there's going to be any, maybe not consequences, maybe consequences is not the word, but I wonder if there's going to be any fallout from that decision of her not training Omega. Because maybe Omega should be trained. Now, with that said, like she was stating before, she's gonna have to leave you guys. And I know y'all don't want to be left. But maybe that's something that has to be done. Maybe they need to be left. Maybe they need to move on and let Omega become her own person before, and then they can reconnect once she's gone through her coming of age. In this case, which could be training with Ventress. And I like how Ventress related to Omega has this. She has this way about her of making people, I don't know, happy, making people, sort of willing to at least take a chance. And maybe it's just her genuine outlook on life where she's, chipper, she's optimistic, and it can't help but rub off on people. But I liked it here. I liked it here when she was talking to Ventress. I liked it how it affected Ventress's look on her when she was in the training, especially um, after she got the white lily, I believe, from the tree to when they were on the boat. The way Ventress was acting then, even when she was like, "Stop smiling, it's unsettling." Like those things, I think is beautiful, man. And hopefully we see Ventress more, but this might be all we need to see because we are around the point where Ventress, unfortunately, she falls and she's, no longer around. But seeing how she related to the clone troopers and that fight scene was very interesting because we have a Ventress that is not out for blood in this scene. And she even said, like, look, are you sure you want to do this? Like, we don't have to do this. You sure you want to do this? We could do this, but I don't want to do this. So that fight scene I think was cool. It showed her restraint. It showed how different she is now and how she's not out to hurt people for the sake of hurting people, which I think is awesome. And we got a lot of that when she was working with, or maybe not working with, but yeah, I guess you can say working with Ahsoka as well when Ahsoka was going through her trials and everything. So that plus the conversation that Omega had with Crosshair, which he was like, she's done so much during the war, she was an assassin, this, that, and the third. And her being like, a lot of us has changed. Looking at Crosshair like, remember, you were hunting us down. You were, on our tail. And now look, you're back with us. You're back home. People can change. And I do believe that. Now, as long as you're willing and there's breath in your body, you can change. With that said, that's not a guarantee that everyone will let you change. And what I mean by that is just because, say, you used to, I don't know, eat apples. All right, you ate an apple every day at 12 o'clock. And tomorrow you decide, you know what, I'm not going to eat apples anymore. From now on, I'll eat pears at 2 o'clock, but I'm not going to eat apples at 12 o'clock. I'm just not doing that no more. It's not good for me, my health, whatever, pears are better or whatever it is, whatever the case is. Just because you've made that change and you are doing that change for you and it is also good for your mind, your body, your spirit, all of that, that doesn't mean that people that know you or have known you aren't going to say, well, oh, you don't eat apples anymore? Oh, it's 12 o'clock. Where are your apples at? Oh, you too good for apples now? Some people won't let you change. And you need to be ready for that and also be accepting that, hey, some people ain't going to let you change and you'll be the person you were last week, last month, last year, 10 years ago is all you're going to be to them. And you also need to make peace with that because you can't spend your whole life trying to convince someone you've changed when you've already changed. You need to just move on and live your life. If they don't believe you've changed, you ain't going to convince them. You know what I'm saying? Just live your life, do what you got to do, let your actions speak, and just move on. Because trying to force someone to believe in you, it's going to waste your time. But here, they talk a lot about trust with Ventress, and the past is brought up in a way where I think there's a great parallel between all of their journeys. And I like the way they use that in this story. I don't know where we're going to end up because this is episode 9 and we have, I don't know how many more episodes we got. We got, like 12, no, not 12. We got, like 5 or 6 episodes left. But the last episode is called The Cavalry Has Arrived. So I am my interest is piqued to see what the Cavalry is, who the Cavalry is, and how the story of Clone Force 99, aka the Bad Batch, ends. Do I love the show? Yes, I've loved the show since it was announced because I love the Bad Batch from, Clone Wars. And I love the animation style, so I'm definitely digging it. It's a show that I'm kind of sad to see go, but I mean, hey, closing that chapter, we'll be able to open up a chapter on something else cool in Star Wars, which will hopefully be the Acolyte. So who knows? So yeah, I think that's my thoughts on Star Wars, the Bad Batch right now. I love seeing Ventress. I want to see more of her, and hopefully, Omega will maybe on the slide, you know, work with the Force. Maybe using it to enhance her own understanding or her senses, deepening them. We'll see where it goes because I would be interested in seeing if Ventress kept contact with her or something like that to see how she could grow. Maybe she's not going into hard training, but maybe just being open to the Force and opening herself to the Force and seeing where that might go. So yeah, I think that's where I'm feeling about that. So let's move on to another one. Okay, so now we got some real movement on Ninja Kamui. Like, we got the fact that the showdown finally between Big Head Little Body, all right, and Hagan happened, and he took that boy to the rack. Thank God. I was tired of him trying to act like this is my ninja. You ain't no ninja. Stop it. Get help. You ain't no ninja. So I'm glad he took care of him. I'm glad he's done. He's gone. He's dead. Get out of here. But the most important thing I've noticed catching up with this Ninja Kamui saga, if you will, of vengeance and path of blood is the closeness of Mari and Emma's commitment to her promise to Mari. At any time she could have gave up. At any time she could have been found out and killed. At any time she could have, lost her way or really gotten sucked into, one of the many lives that she was leading. But her dedication, her steadfast nature, her commitment to her promise, to Mari, to protect her Hagan is really honorable and admirable and commendable in this show. And I think it's something that's kind of slightly overlooked, but they really drove the point home about how honorable she is and how just awesome it is to see her operate. And she's really opened up as a character in a way where I thought she was going to be kind of like, maybe like a slightly recurring character, because we started seeing so much of Hagan and very little of her, and of course little of Mike as well. So I'm thinking, okay, well, we'll maybe see her at the end when they mop up the last bad guys or something like that. But seeing her backstory, how she became a ninja, how she became, close with Mari, it's a beautiful thing. I really like her story in general, and I like how it's playing out, and I like her kind of family closeness with Mike. Even though she had to deceive him saying, I'm not mad at you at all. I'm just upset about the fact that I wasn't able to have your back the way I would want to, because of course he sees her as family. She's like, we ain't nothing but colleagues, but look, y'all was getting drunk and singing karaoke together. Y'all basically brother and sister now. But if only it worked like that. But I do like Emma's story, man, and how it's coming together is straight flames. On the flip, shouts out to Mike and the backstory of him getting drunk and the backstory of him getting his sing on. Homie was out there blowing, boy. He was out there hitting them notes. Yo, man, if you haven't been to a drunk karaoke night and just sat and watched the entertainment, treat yourself. Because it's there are some characters out there, no matter what the city, what town, county, parish, whatever. It's interesting. But I did enjoy that, man. I like to see Emma's side. I like to see her and Mike reconnect. I like to see her play that song in her car to see sort of if the person inside of it, hopefully it being Mike, would recognize it and have remember that moment. Because for her to remember that song means that it meant something for her too, which is something that I enjoy and I'm just happy about in general. But on to the outside side of things, this whole stuff about controlling all the power and the fusion reactor, nah, 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 no, no, no. We ain't trusting Alistair with all that power. And straight up, where he was like, "Oh, I got all these signatures from all these, Environmental Protection Agency and all these other people." I'm like, he caked them off. Them people is paid. Y'all better follow the money. Like, bruh, ain't no way. It's almost frustrating how dumb the government is in some of this stuff. And I mean, I hate to say it because it's not fiction, man. You see the government making dumb moves in real life, regardless whether it's the U.S. or some other country. You be like, why y'all make so many dumb moves? Man, look. But I was just saying, we making money moves, son. Like, and then for him to, well, maybe not him, for Yamaji to allow, I guess, basically Steve Jobs, or Alza Steve Jobs, to let the American government know about ninjas and their power. I don't know, man. I don't know if that's a good idea because, look, whenever the U.S. government get in their mind that there's something out there more powerful than them or a power that they don't control, I don't know, man. It might not be a good look for your peoples out there. I'm just saying, Yamaji might have another issue on his hands with the U.S. government. Unless he ain't tripping, he might be like, U.S. government don't scare me. I'm Master Yamaji, baby. So that's something that I wonder if that's going to play out at all during the rest of these last couple episodes. But we'll see, because of course with next episode we see that there's going to be a showdown at the motel, man, and well worth it. We already got shoulder fire missiles, a whole bunch of straight ninja action between the brother with the fade, what I'm saying, between Big Daddy Kane and Hagan. So we got a lot of good stuff coming that way. On the other hand, with Alza and also the rest of the council and lieutenants, we kind of found out that those council and lieutenants are basically just there to be there. To at least that's how I perceived the conversation about the council. It seems like they're basically just there to be there for Master Yamaji and Mr. Alza, because it seems as if Alza might be holding all the cards, but with Emma's statement about Yamaji and his final plan and moving the final plan up, maybe this is a situation where Mr. Alza thinks that he has all the cards, but Yamaji is about to usurp that power in some way, shape, or form. So when it comes to this show, man, I am locked and loaded and all the way in. I'm excited for this. I'm from the fact of us finally getting the scene where the team compares notes, to the callback to like the lady on the truck with the little bikini and stuff, and the guy looking at the lady on the truck, to the statement about Hagan maybe not being able to tame his rage to be able to fully connect with his suit. I think that's going to come up again. So there's all these things that have been swirling around and helping to fill out these characters in a very short amount of time, which I think is like well played, because I wouldn't say there's a lot of wasted energy or wasted movement on these episodes. I wouldn't say that there's, I don't know, like I guess I would say there's any fat to trim on a show like this. It really does shine in how effective it is and how efficient it is at getting this story across. So, yo, man, let's get ready to see Emma, Mike back to back, guns blazing, Cause you got, yo, man, Detective Teddy Pendergrass got to come through, man. He got to come through. And I know he got shot in the trailer. I mean, I know he got shot in the little teaser for the next episode, but don't worry about that. He gonna be all right. All right, he's strong. All right, he's strong like that. And after seeing that little drawing that his baby girl did, man, he ain't going nowhere, man. He ain't going nowhere. So I'm ready for that next elegant fight between the High Top Fade and Higan. I'm ready to see what Yamaji is planning. And yeah, let me know what you think about Ninja Kamui, because I think I'm sold on this show. Probably the most sold for, I guess this would be the winter season still, sort of. Or I guess this started in winter, so I guess we'll still count this as winter season. But I think this might be the show that I've stuck around with the most. Yeah, maybe besides Metallic Rouge, which I'll talk about a little bit, maybe next, maybe in the coming weeks, but this is probably being the one that really moves me. This has probably been the one that has really connected with me. This and Solo Leveling. But yeah. I think that's what I'll talk about next. I think we'll get into Solo Leveling next. Catch up with your boy JinWoo. You know what I'm saying? He been leveling up. He been working all he can, doing all he can to try to get to the next step, next level. That's what this whole show all about. Can he do it? Can he be the man his family need him to be? Bruh, look. This whole job change thing over the last 2 episodes has been crazy. Last 2 or 3 episodes has been crazy. The way they line up his challenge or challenges. Like, he comes in, he has to fight a whole bunch of random knights and stuff. He finally gets that down. Then the next day, I mean, it's straight up like video game. Then he has to fight the boss. The knight, Igris. But then after beating him, they're like, you got to go into a survival mode. And the only thing that saves him is the fact that he was penalized for not doing his daily, daily workout or whatever. And all throughout this, all I can see is impeccable animation and music and a score that swells at all the right times, giving you all of the heroic feels, and a voice acting that, even though I don't speak the language, it does seem to kind of exhibit the emotion that you would expect these words, at least in the subtitles, to have. I am someone who is a total convert for this show, because when I saw the trailer, I was like, I'm not feeling it. I'm not sure if I'm gonna watch this show at all. But I stand corrected. This show is dope, and I'm digging it. The way he gets them level ups, like the telekinesis is gonna be crazy for an assassin type character, and then he's leveled up to necromancer, and even above that, now he has a shadow army, all these shadow knights, and the fact that he was able to raise Igris, and like he's the head knight, look, I'm telling you, your boy gonna be a problem. Look, I feel sorry for any dungeon he walk into, because it ain't gonna be pretty. He gonna go in the dungeon personally and air that bad boy out in a good way. The resilience that he has, even when talking to his sort of like inner dialogue, or like speaking with his demons, when he sees I can't remember the old guy's name, and like seeing himself talk about him being E-rank, and maybe being conceited, or being too lax in his duties, or thinking that like he's got it all in the bag, that kind of thing. Making him question himself, question his ability, and being able to overcome that, to be able to kind of like rise above it, is something I really dug. Now, on the flip, I really want to know how much of this is going to translate outside of dungeons. Because the reason I say that is because we do have this whole backstory of the Jeju Island raid that's going on. And is he going to join that? Is he going to join that one? And also, will he be able to make a difference in it. Also, if he doesn't join it, the whole thing about Mr. Huang, like how is that going to play out? You know, the brother is he still coming? What's going to happen? And is it going to be a situation where they don't end up fighting, but maybe the attack is more of a maybe like a social or a political attack because maybe he meaning Mr. Huang feels like a one-on-one battle might not work out for him. You know, those kind of things. How will that play? Because they've had that kind of bubbling in the background too. And I mean, if you take all of the knights and the golem fighting and the mages, but we still get a chance to check back home with his sister, and she's on the flip side of him worrying about her, she's worried about him like, yo, he hasn't come home yet. You know what I'm saying? She left him a meal. I wish people leave meal out for me. I'm like, shoot, she left him a meal out and everything, and like, where is he? Where is he at? I haven't seen him. So I wonder if that will be a large or serve as a large presence in his sort of in his day-to-day, more or less so now that he's leveled up to where he is. Is he going to be consumed by the journey of completing these things to take care of his family, but in service of that actually not taking care of his family? You know what I'm saying? I wonder how that'll work out. But all in all, this show, man, look, Solo Leveling has been good to me. I ain't gonna front. The only thing I would say about JinWoo is, bruh, look, you gotta stop going into these dungeons with just a pair of sweatpants. I mean, bruh, you're not going to pick up some groceries from Kroger, alright? You need to go in there with a little bit more, like some Kevlar or something. Like, man, look, he going in there with some regular tennis shoes and a t-shirt. Like, bruh, like, you need protection. But with that said, I know he has that kind of like invisible armor, so I guess that helps too. But still, he just be looking like he just run into the store real quick, and all I can see is mad danger around him literally from all sides. But guys, that's it, man. I'm digging it, Invincible. Bad Batch is coming correct. You know I'm loving. Oh boy, you know I'm loving that Solo Leveling, and of course all the good stuff that we have with Ninja Kamui. So holla at me. I'm gonna holla at you down in them comments. Yeah, comments, whatever it is. Hit me back. Holla at your boy. Let's talk. NERD, SAUL, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, TikTok, podcast, all that jazz. And until the next time that you have to fight an endless horde of, I guess, necromanced knights. Just saying, peace.